University.
Okay. Uh, so what I'll do is I'll take.
What is topic today?
We will look at translations on firewall because your firewall is the actual device to perform translations. Your network address translations you can do it on router, but router is not the real device to do all those things. Can you do it? Yes. Should you do it on a router? No. Router is specially for routing purpose. Okay, so you do translations on your firewall
Translate what?
addresses. So I'll take firewall, then I'll take router 1, I'll take router 2. These are say two hosts. Okay, these are two hosts. Then I'll take router 3. This is say your DMZ server, and then I'll take one client on the internet. Let me take one switch also here. This is a layer 2 switch, you cannot configure it. Okay, and when you are making the connections, always make connection using what? Manual. So I'll connect for F0/0 interface of router R1 to switch port 1. I'll connect our router R2 F0/0 interface to switch 1 port 2. Then I'll connect firewall E1 interface on switch port 3. Similarly, I'll connect E2 to R3. I'll connect E3 to R4, and let this be another DMZ. Okay, will increase the complexity. And then what I'll do is I'll take one more router which I'll simulate as internet. So this is internet. I'll change the symbol. Um, so this is your internet, and these are your DMZ. You see server somewhere, server somewhere. Hmm. I'll connect E4 to. Good. This is a DMZ. Apart from DMZ, you have outside, which is your internet, and you have your company inside network. So this is your inside. This is say your DMZ 1 or DMZ 2, and this is say your DMZ. So it's something like this. These are two different zones. Let this zone be 192.168.40.0/24, and let this one be, because router R3 is here, so I'll make it 30.3. Outside will keep some public address. So this is your outside network with IP address 192.120.0/24. Okay, and your inside will keep network 10.11.11.0/24. Good. All the interfaces of firewall. Let's just bring up the names. Okay, interface of the firewall dot 10, all the interfaces. This is dot 10 dot 10, E1 is also dot 10 and E4 is also dot 10. So all the interfaces of firewall are dot 10 from that particular network. Okay, and for the routers, R1 I'll keep dot 1, R2 dot 2, R3 dot 3, R4 dot 4 and R5 dot 5. Simple addressing. Okay, let me just start all the devices. Okay, translations on Cisco ASA firewall. Okay, so this is good enough. You can see, right? Fine. Now the aim is this. Suppose normal situation is there. You know rule 1, you know rule 2. Rule 1 says that any traffic can go from any high security level to a low security. Your inside is at security level of 100, outside is at a security level of 0, DMZ2 is at a security level of 50 and DMZ1 again I am keeping at same security level of 50. Good.
So what the DMZ will not have the connections.
Yep.
We will not talk about
Yeah.
it.
Okay, then high to low, this is possible. High to low, this is possible. High to low, this is possible. High to low and high to, all these traffic flow are possible by default. And because of second rule, any TCP and UDP connection can easily go from any high security zone to low security zone and return back because of rule 2, because of your
Implicit inspection.
implicit inspection, which is done only for your
TCP, UDP,
TCP and UDP based traffic. Any traffic which is TCP and UDP based, it gets implicitly inspected. So this you know. Now okay, now the thing is, suppose this is the normal situation what you are aware of, and in this situation suppose R1 which is 10 11 11.1, he is trying to go to internet which is 192.1.20.5. okay, in this case what will be your packet?
My source will be 10.1.1.
Correct, your destination will be 192 1.20, not 0 0 is the network, 20.5,
Sorry, 20.5.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Then suppose it's a TCP based traffic, no problem,
Okay.
and then you have some data part over here.
Yeah. Port number.
Huh?
Port number.
Yeah, port number and the data part. So this is your TCP header, this is your IP header, wherein this is your source, this is your
Destination.
the packet in green is traversing from high to
Low.
low. This is okay, but when the packet will be coming back, the packet will be this. Your source will become your destination. So your source 10, 11, 11, 1 becomes destination. So destination will be 10, 11, 11.1. Your source will be 192.1.20.5. Okay, at this time always the packets are routed how? The packets are always routed by looking at the destination field. Here the destination address is this address is a
public IP.
public IP. Here in this case the destination is not a public IP, rather it's a
Private IP.
private IP, and private IP addresses are not routable on internet. Only public IPs are routable on internet. So do you think the packet will come back? Packet will never come back, because internet will kill this packet. Reason being private address in the packet, and private address is not routable on internet. I am saying the packet has source, the packet has destination. This packet, the destination part is a public IP address. So because of this, packet will come to firewall. From here it will go to internet. From internet, suppose the packet has to come back. If the packet has to return, in that case this will be your returning packet, this. So this will become your source and this will become your destination. The destination here is a private IP, and private IP addresses are not routable on internet. So the packet will not be able to come back.
So one thing, sir. In the before scenarios, what we saw that the routers were there, the reply we were getting, we were telling that is unit, sorry, TCP based invoice, we got the reply. What was that, sir?
That was just for the demonstration purpose, that packet, how the traffic goes through the firewall. In real time situation, you would use in your internal network, you will be using private IP addresses, and on the internet you will get public IP addresses. So in that case, in the real situation, this will be the real situation wherein your packets will not come back.
Okay, that was just for understanding.
Yeah. The previous lab was just for the understanding that how the packets travel through the firewall. So for this reason, you need something that your packets get translated to public IPs when they are going out on the internet. And that's where translations come into picture. That's where you need translation. So what you're going to do is, his IP, R1's IP, which is a private IP 10, this IP will come to firewall. Firewall, on the firewall will create a pool of IP addresses, from which in the pool we'll keep what? We'll keep public IPs. Why public IPs? Because public IP addresses are routable on internet. So we'll keep public IPs, and then this private IP will change into one of the public IP available in the pool, and then we'll send that packet out on the internet, so that the same packet can return back.
Again, it will be converted in the same
Yeah.
private IP, and again it is.
Yeah. So it will happen something like this. What we'll do is, on this we'll create a pool. Say our pool has IP addresses from range say 100, 1, 1, 1 till 100, 1, 1, 10. From 100, 1, 1, 1 to 100, 1, 1, 10. Suppose we have 10 public IPs. These are public IP addresses routable on internet, no issues. So from inside we'll have a default gateway here. From firewall we'll have a default gateway towards internet. Okay. Now the requirement is that R1 wants to go to internet. So R1's packet will be what? Source, correct? Destination will be internet, which is 192.1.20.5. this packet will come to firewall. Firewall from the pool will take one IP, suppose the first IP.
For the different networks, we need to put the different pools.
No, same pool can be used. I'll show you all flavors of translations. Just understand how this will work, okay? And then this IP which is in the source field, this will be changed, and this value will be put here. Okay, so your packet will become 100,
Destination will remain
same.
and
Your IP will be changed.
when the packet will be raised to the
This is the packet what you send to internet. So this packet will reach to R5. Now it's turn that R5 replies. For reply, what R5 will do in this packet, this is source, this is your destination.
then the destination will be
So destination will become source, and source will become destination. So your packet will be this 192.1.20.5. This becomes your source, and your destination will become 100.
1.1. It will go to firewall.
This packet will get routed by looking at the destination IP, which is the public IP, and so your packet will reach firewall. When packet will come back to firewall, firewall will be maintaining a table wherein he will maintain that which address is given to him, to whom. So he will see that 100.1.1.1 he has given this IP address to
If you see the previous source IP,
10.11.11.1, and then what it will do, it will replace this value, no, not this value, and it will make packet like this 192.5. This will become
so my PC it is
yours.
yes. PC.
Yours. Reconnect, check Wi-Fi might have gone, and this packet will finally return back to R1. So this will be your first packet, which will be changed to this packet. Then the packet what you will be getting from outside will be this packet, which will be again changed back to, and this is the packet which will be delivered back to you. So check your original packet, which is this, and check your incoming packet. Your IP address is same, both the sides.
After the firewall, till firewall it is same.
Yeah, after firewall it's different. Okay, so the sense is that inside you are using a private network. Okay, this private network will be translated to some public network, whichever is available in the pool. So in my pool the network available is this network. So any IP of 10.11.11 network for internet, it will be seen as 100.1.1.1, which is a public address, and that's why you get the connectivity, that's why you get the routing reachability.
Like this only ISPs are.
Yeah. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll look at some of the translations. For example, so different translations available on Cisco ASA firewall are your, okay, I'll do it category wise, that's better. You will have a dynamic translations, and you will have,
These are the types of translations.
yeah, you will have dynamic nations, and under this we'll see um, like dynamic netting, we'll see dynamic padding. Okay, under this we'll see static translations, wherein we'll see static net, we'll see static pat. Okay, apart from this, we'll look at some of the features like uh, like net control feature, which is available on ASA version 8.2, which is available up to ASA version 8.2. It's not available from 8.3 onwards. There is no NAT control feature available from firewall ASA version 8.3 onwards.
Okay,
Till
so
8.2 only you have this command NAT control feature.
means
Okay.
we'll see the version of 8.2 on the firewall version.
Yeah. Okay. Then your NAT exemption, your identity NAT, and your
NAT translation is present, but this NAT control feature is not present yet.
the
After the 8.2,
yeah translations. After 8.2, translations are still there. Firewall is a dedicated device for translations.
okay.
You can do it on switch, you layer 3 switch, you can do it on router, but should you do it there? No. Can you do it? Yes, you can do it on those devices also, but are those the right device to do these things? No. The right device, the dedicated device for all those things is your Cisco firewall. Firewall is the device where you do translations, because you get more flexibility. You can do different type of translations there. If you'll see, you have total 10 to 12 different type of translation. Okay, so we'll see dynamic
So
NAT, dynamic pat. Hmm.
on firewall, we can see, we can find routing table.
Yes. Then your dynamic pat using interface command. Okay, your so we'll take look at these three areas. Okay, very first you need to know what is NAT control feature. Okay, for this what I'll do is I'll quickly set up the topology so that we can go through the working. So what I'll do is I'll just configure this quickly. So my configuration on router R1 will be what? Interface F0/0 with an IP address 10.11.11, say 1 255.255.255.0. No sure to bring up the interface. Next step should be pointing a default gateway. That will be IP route default gateway towards firewall. I am keeping .10 for the firewall. All the interfaces from the different networks .10. Then next thing on R2 interface F0/0 again IP address 10.11.11.2 255.255.255.0 with a no shut and an exit. Okay, better I'll do this. Then finally on next on R3 in interface F0/0 192.168.30.3, and default gateway will be 192.168.30.10. Finally, on R4, 40.4, and default gateway will be 40.10. Then on R5, which is your ISP internet, I'll say 1.20.5, and there will be no default gateway, rather there will be static routes. Okay, so here I'll have route for some public network. Right now there is no public network, there is only one public network, which is 192.120.5. Okay, for just for the lab purpose, I'll add a route for network 11, say 10. This route will not be there in the real time situation. This I'm just giving to show you the demonstration.
Then how will we tell in real time?
In real time it will be static. I'll show you soon. Okay, so I'm just adding this route so that I can show you how NAT control feature actually works. Okay, so remaining thing is firewall. So let's first just copy paste this. So R1, R2, R3, R4, and R5. Hold up, last. So first let's configure for routers only. I'll copy the commands for router R1. Copy. I'll go to console and paste it on R1. Done. Apart from this, what you can do is you can give and your so R1 is done. R2, let me get the config of R2. This is R2. Copy, paste. R3. See, to paste, to copy on this, what do you say?
Control plus C.
Control C you can use, and to paste on the console, just right click of your mouse. Use right click button of your mouse to paste it. Fine, then go to R4. This is R4. Finally R5, which is your internet. Okay, don't worry, soon I'll be removing this route. Okay, done. Okay, we have firewall remaining to be configured, so I'll go to firewall. DMZ E1, E2, E3, E4. So here interface E1 which is connected on inside, so I'll say name if inside. Security level by default will be set to, I'll assign IP address, say 10, 11, 11, 10, 255, 255, 255, because I want it to be /24. If I don't use subnet mask, this will be /8, class A network. Then finally no shut, exit. Okay, then interface E2 with name if DMZ 1 or DMZ 3, I believe. Yeah, this one. Okay, DMZ 1. So check here, E2 is connected to DMZ 1, so that's why there's a console. DMZ 1, security level is 0. I don't want it to be 0, I want it to be 50, so I'll use the command security level and assign the security value 50. IP address which should be 192.168.30.10. I'll not assign subnet mask because I know it's class C /24. And finally no shut. Next interface is interface E3 which is connected to router R4 which belongs to DMZ 2 zone. So I'll say name if security level, again I'll set it to 50. IP address again I'll set to 192.168.40.10 and no shut, exit. Next interface E4 which is connected to R5 which is acting as internet ISP. So for this name if outside, security level is 0, that's good, that's what I want, with IP address 192.1.20.5. Oh, sorry, 10. 20.10 on the firewall. .10 are the all are .10 on the firewall. Finally no shut and a exit. In case your PC is slow in this scenario, what you can do is you can set idle PC value. You can go and set idle PC value like I showed you just now. Okay, in case you find your processing is used up more, okay, you can check your processing. I don't know how much is right now. Mine is okay, 45, 47. If you find your processing has reached 100 and your routers or consoles are stucking, then set idle PC value, bring down the processing and then use it. Okay, right click on the router, go to idle PC, click on this, it will calculate the value. From the values, pick the value with the asterisk in front of it. Pick the value with asterisk in front of it. Say suppose if I tell him to calculate, I don't know whether he will be calculating because I have already applied idle PC value. But let's see. Okay, there's no. But see, potentially better idle PC values are marked with asterisk. So like this, you will be shown a list. In this, you will find there will be asterisk at 2-3 places. So you can pick any of those. Okay. So my network is up. How do I check? Show interface IP brief. All are up. So next step at this moment should be ping your directly connected interfaces. Ping you are on firewall, ping all directly connected interfaces, which means you can ping this, 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 and this. If you are able to ping all of them, means your connectivity is good. Till now you have done everything proper, correct, without any mistake. If no, go back, troubleshoot it. Don't proceed till the time you cannot ping all the directly connected interfaces. So I'll try from here, ping 10.11.11.1. I can. Dot 2, which is our router R2. Then I'll start pinging 192.168.30.3, which is router R3 present in DMZ1 zone. I can. I'll ping 40.4 present in DMZ2 zone. And finally I'll ping internet. All good. Means I have done everything proper. I can proceed. Anthony, for you. Okay. Then next step here is, there is a command show running. In your running configuration, there is it. By default it's disabled, but I can see it. Yep. By default, if you see, your NAT control is off. No NAT control means it's off. Your NAT control feature is off. Okay. Now let's see what is NAT control actually. How? Do a question mark and look for the command NAT control. HIJ. Yep. Just read what is the description given for NAT control. What is it? It enables or disable NAT configuration requirement, which means if, so this means that when your NAT control feature is off, which means when you see the command no NAT control, it means off. When it is off, it means requirement for translations is disabled, which means you don't need translations. And same thing, when you see only NAT control, this means it's on, which means you need NAT, you need translations, or you need NAT. Now how does this work? Right now, show running NAT control. You see it's off. When it is off, it is disabled. It means that NAT configuration requirement is disabled. It means you don't need NAT configuration. Even if it is not there, it's okay. So in this case, if we try to do this, if you try to go from any high to any low with your private address, you can go. Firewall will not say anything. You can go, but when you will reach to internet, you will not be able to come back because you have private address. But what is happening is you are wasting this bandwidth. See, when you know that a packet which is sourced from a private address will go out, and then the destination will become private address, and the packet will never come back. Why to send such packets out? Makes some sense. When you are already aware that the packet with private source, if it is going out on the internet, it will never come back. Why are you sending it out? Why are you taking so much pain to send it out and wasting the bandwidth? At least you can save this bandwidth right from here till internet. The packet will come to firewall. Firewall will see, okay, you are coming from private source. There is no translation rule for you. Packet will get dropped. And thereby you will be saving this bandwidth. But if NAT control is disabled, firewall doesn't say anything. Packet will come to the firewall will pass it. And then ultimately what will happen is packet will go to internet. So packet will come, he will see NAT control feature is no, it's off, it's disabled. So no requirement of rule, packet can go out. Packet will go out. Once it reaches the internet, internet will say destination is a private address, I will not forward the packet. Packet will get. So when you know this is going to happen, why don't you check on the firewall? Before forwarding the packet outside, better is to check on the firewall whether the packet will has some rules, translation rules or not. If there is no rule, means it will go directly with its private source, original source, and it will never come back. So don't send it.
We need to save this thing to firewall.
Yeah. So we need to configure this thing on firewall. So your one single command, NAT control, it can do a lot of things. Okay. So first of all, check whether NAT control feature is enabled or disabled, and then make decisions. Okay. So right now in this case, presently NAT control feature is off, which means packets can go out. You don't need rule. So right in this case, if I go to R1 and I say telnet 192.120.5, which is internet, you will see I can go out. I can go out. I am getting this because I have not set line VTY on R5. I'll set line VTY 0 to 4 password. And if I try now, this will prompt me for password. But that's not important. This part is not important. Till the time you get a open, this okay. This is good enough of a test to know that your packet is passing through the firewall. But here, yes, what I want to see is, you see the packet is with private source. This is working because on R5 we have added a static route for a private address, which in real time situation will not be there. In that case, this will not work. But meanwhile, what will happen? You will waste the bandwidth. Same case, same situation. Try to understand this. Right now on R5, I have added a static route saying that if you want to reach network 10.11.11.0, send your packet where? To the firewall. In real time situation, this route will not be there. So in that case, if your packet is coming directly to the internet, we will check there is no route in the routing table and the packet will get. In that case, you are wasting this bandwidth.
Yeah, now how the packet will be forwarded from my instrument? If they in a real device, if we don't put static on that.
And I'll explain you. Okay. So what we need to do is, so to save this, what we can do is on the firewall enable your NAT control feature. So I'll go to firewall and I'll enable NAT control. How do you enable? You say NAT control. One single word, but it is very critical. It can do a lot of things. It can harm you also. If you don't know this, you will keep banging your head. You will not get the reason why the packet is not going through the firewall. Okay. So NAT control feature, hit enter. Now my NAT control feature is enabled, isn't it? What I'll do is I'll log out from here first of all.
Not control feature.
Huh?
Not control.
Yeah, it's on. It's enabled right now. So when it is enabled, it wants some rule in the translation table. Some NAT rule it needs. And as of now, there is no NAT rule. Check the firewall. I'll say show running NAT. There is no rule.
Because it's illegal.
No, NAT control feature is different, but there is no translation rule. And because there is no translation rule, you cannot go out. Why? NAT control says what? It wants some configuration, some NAT configuration, which is not present right now. It's blank. Because nothing is present for you, you cannot go out. Simple. So what will happen is, if R1 now tries to go out, you get a different message. Connection refused by remote host.
It is refused or firewall.
Refuse means it's something done by firewall.
Firewall.
Okay. I'll remove the NAT control feature from here. I'll say no NAT control. Check now. Again I'll try. This time it's going on. So you guys understand what is the significance of enabling the NAT control feature? If you have enabled the NAT control feature and there is no translation rule, your packet will not go out. Okay, so how this will exactly work is like this. On the firewall, let's say NAT control feature is enabled. So when NAT control feature is enabled, it requires some translation rule, which is right now not there. So we'll go and add some rules. Okay.
What's not control feature? What is your feature? You tap only not control.
Yeah. So we have different rules. So I hope NAT control is clear. Okay. Then let's take a look at dynamic NAT. Let's use dynamic NAT. Okay. So for dynamic translations, I want you to understand that for all your dynamic translations, okay, you will be using two words. First keyword will be your global keyword, okay, and your second keyword will be your NAT. I'll repeat again. For all your dynamic translations, what you are going to do on Cisco ASA firewall, you will be using two keywords. One is global and another keyword is NAT.
In the dynamic translation, we have two keywords, that is global and that one is NAT.
Okay, global keyword you will be using to create IP address, okay, or you can say to create public IP address pool. And NAT is the keyword what you will be using to define the rule who can use the good enough. So let's see dynamic translation. Okay, here I told you two words. First word is what?
Global.
Global, correct? So as per the rule, you're going to use global word. Global keyword you are going to use to create a pool. Okay, now tell me, in the whole setup, where should I create the pool? In this whole topology, where should I create the pool? You will create pool on the interface on the exiting interface. If I am on inside, what is my exiting interface? I'll be exiting to the internet on
E4. E4 only. E4 is the
outside.
existing interface for all the.
Yep. Okay, so I'll be, see, if I'm from inside, I'm trying to go to internet, then what is my exit interface? Obviously outside. If from inside I'm trying to go to DMZ, what is my exiting interface?
E2.
If from E1, from inside I'm trying to go to DMZ zone 2, what is my exiting interface?
E3.
Similarly, if I am in DMZ zone and I am trying to go to outside, I am here, I am trying to go here, what is my exiting interface? Obviously again outside. Clear? So my pool will be created on this interface. So I'll be creating the pool here. My IP pool will be created over here. Where do you create the pool?
Existing.
Exiting interface.
Exiting.
From where you are going to exit the.
Exiting.
Okay. And how do you create this? To create this, you use this. Huh? Huh? Huh. Take it. Global. Okay. Okay, better I'll write down in the new page. That's better. Okay, so this is your command to create the pool. You have to say global, which is a keyword. You have to open the parenthesis. In the parenthesis, you need to write name. Which name? Logical name of the interface. Okay, you have to write down logical name. I'll write down just logical name. You have to write down the logical name of the interface where you want to create the pool. So where I want to create the pool, for example, my command would be what? In this case, global, isn't it? I want to create the pool on outside interface. So my command should be here what? Here you need to write down the name of the interface where you want to create the pool. I want to create the pool on outside interface because that's my exiting interface. So global, outside. Then after this, you need to write down pool ID, which can be a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And
number can be same or different.
Huh? For different pools, different ID. Okay, and then after this, you need to write down you can write down a range of IP address. If you're doing patting, you can write down a single IP address, or you can use interface keyword. So global, the keyword, global, the keyword, then you need to write down in the brackets, you need to write down the name of the exiting interface, which is in my case outside. Then pool ID, which I'll use as pool ID 1. Then you need to write down range of IP address, or you can write down a single IP, or you can write down interface. So right now let's check this command first. So you write down range of IP address. So let's use range of IP address, say 100.111 till 100.
So by default it would be, or we can give manually like this, take from 1 to 10. Full.
Yeah, that's what we are giving, no? Good. Let's go and do this on the firewall. Global. Do a question mark. It will ask you to open the parenthesis. Open it. Do a question mark. It will ask you the name of the interface where you want to create the pool. I want to create it on the outside. Again do a question mark, it will ask you to close the bracket. Leave space, do a question mark, it will ask you for the ID. In my case, let it be 1. Then again do a question mark, it will ask you for what? A single IP address or range of IP address, and that you need to write down in this format. So my address is 100.111 till 100.111.10. That's my pool. Say show running global, this would show up. So out of your 2 keywords, you have successfully used one of the keyword. You have used global keyword to do what? To create the IP pool. Next keyword is NAT, and NAT is to define the rule that who can use this pool. So you have created a pool already. So what you have done is you have created a pool here, and your pool has IP addresses from 100.111 till 100. And your pool, the pool ID is what? Pool ID is 1. Now you need to define a rule who can use this pool. For that you will use NAT keyword. So your command in that case is going to be you will be saying NAT again in the bracket logical name you will write down the network, and you will write down the right. You have to say NAT in the brackets, you need to write down the name. Okay, now understand the command. Yep. So example of this is you have to say NAT, which is a keyword, logical name of the interface from where this traffic is going to come. Suppose if I am saying my network is say, and mask is good, I am saying that this network can use the pool, and the pool will be
101 to 110.
1.
Okay, only giving the number, ID number.
Yeah. So this network with this subnet mask can use pool 1. This is what I am saying. But when you, in this logical name field, you need to type, or you need to mention from where this network is going to come. And as per our diagram, traffic of network 10 is going to come on interface E1, which is inside. So that's why in the bracket your name should be inside.
Then if it is inside, once go to the that scenario. Okay. In this there is R1 and R2. Okay. And R1 is from a different network, and R2 is from a different network.
No, it's not one.
It's not
Both are same, no? This whole network is 10.11.11.0.
okay.
So I'll say inside, the traffic is going to come on inside interface. Which pool? Pool ID. My pool ID is 1. For which network? The host or network in this group. Who can use this group or this pool? Who can use? Any host from network 10.11.11.0/24 can use this. Done? This time we have a rule. Show running NAT. We have a rule. So we have all 3 things in place. We have show running NAT control. We have NAT control, which is on. show running global, we have a pool, and finally show running NAT, we have a NAT rule. So here what we are trying to say is this is on, which says you need rule. Okay, so then if R1 comes to firewall, firewall will say okay, no problem, NAT control is enabled, let me see whether there is any rule for you. He will see there is a rule, there is a rule, and rule saying if traffic is coming from this network and if it is coming on inside interface, yes, traffic is coming from host of network 10.11.11.0, which is 10.11.11.1 is the host. Okay, it's coming to the firewall on which interface? Inside interface. Yes, again the condition is met, both are met. Then please assign him IP address from this pool, pool number 1.
First of all, it will go to NAT rule. After that, it will go to global.
Yeah, global is the pool from where the IP should be given. But before you give IP, you should check whether this fellow should be given IP or not.
Directly the traffic will go for the rule. The packet.
First, this will be checked. First, this will be checked whether NAT control feature is enabled or disabled. If it is enabled, then it becomes mandatory to use this. If it is disabled, then also it will check whether there is a rule or not. If there is a rule, it will translate and send. If there is no rule, you directly go.
Without on.
If the NAT control is off and still you have this rule, then still the rule will be used.
And what is the use of on and off?
The use is this, that if you have, suppose you have network 10 here and suppose you have network 0 also.
Okay, 0 will directly.
0 will not be able to go because NAT control is on. In this case 0, this network will not be able to go. Only network 10.11.11 will be able to go because there is rule only for network 172 will not be able to go. That's the use.
If it is not on,
if it is not on, then what will happen? 172.16.00 network will go to internet but will not be able to come back. So dynamic translation is clear. We'll see working and we'll see some of the debug commands what you can use here. So what I'll do is a small routing thing what I need to explain you. Okay. So as of now what will happen is packet will come from R1, packet will come to firewall. Firewall will see NAT control feature is on. NAT control feature is on. Good. He will check the rule. Yes, there is a rule. That is, the packet is coming on inside interface and it is coming from network 10.11.11.0. Use pool. So this host will be given IP address from the pool. Say first IP. First come first serve. He will take the IP. Which IP?
100.1.1.1.
And will reach R5. Now R5 routing table should know where is network, where is this network located, and for this you need to have a route on R5 for network to reach network. See, R1 is trying to go out, so the source will be and destination will be this is your first packet which will go to firewall. Firewall will change this packet. What it will do is it will do this. It will make source, it will change by assigning this IP. So it will make it 192.1.20 dot, and this packet will be sent to R5. When R5 will receive this packet, R5 will try to reply. In the reply sequence, R5 will become source. Correct. And your 101 will become your destination. Now, before you send out the packet, what R5 is going to do? He will check his routing table. And in routing table, there is no route for 100.111. And it's ISP, it will not even have default gateway. So what you will do? What you need to do? You need to add a static route saying where is 100, network 100. Where is network 100? You can reach network 100 by sending your packet here. So for this reason, I'll go to R5 and I'll say IP route 100.
This static route will be in real device or not?
Yeah, in the real network, this is how it will be. You will not have this route. This will not be there. I had told you I will be removing this route. I have removed it. This was just for the example. Okay. So this will be your real table.
So how many networks will be there? According to that, we need to put a static route on it.
Yeah, on the internet. Okay. Time to verify this. Come to R1. Try to go out. Are you able to go out?
Yeah.
See your IP address.
We are looking this on the R5.
Yep. So what we have done is
Right now we pinged from R1. Sorry, we terminated from R1.
yep.
And we saw the packet status on R5
Yeah.
by showing user.
Yeah. So what we have done is from R1 we tried to telnet R5 which is on internet. So our real IP is actually 10.11.11.1. But when we went to the firewall gave us a public address which is so for R5 it is 100.1.1.1 who has telneted in, not fine. How do you verify the same thing on the firewall? You verify this by saying show accelerate, where X stands for trans. So your word becomes show translate. Show accelerate, show translate. Okay, enter. Look at this. This says your IP address 10.11.11.1 is the original local address which is changed to global address 100.1.1.1, and this comes from the pool which you have created on the outside interface. Okay, in case if you want to clear the translations, okay, I think there are other different commands what you can try out. Show net on inside.
It means in the real scenario,
Huh?
only there will be only one private network. Yeah? There will be only one private network which is inside.
Okay, see, like you can go and verify on what interface what translation is taking place. Like on inside interface, where is it? You see this? This is the rule what has matched. What's the rule? That IP address from of inside network 10.11.11 this. If going to outside to any network on outside, then dynamic translation will take place for him. From which pool? From pool, and this is the IP address is available in the pool. and already one translation has taken place also. That's what you can see in using show accelerate command. You have only one translation. That's why it's showing you. Fine. Now we'll extend it a bit.
So I have one confusion, sir. We can give the choice of our pool, or pool means थोड़ी देर stop करते
एक मिनट ये खत्म करना. Now just understand that suppose right now we have network 10. Suppose we have network 16.10.0 behind R1, and we have say network 172.16.0 behind R2. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly go and create this. I'll go to R1. Let me log out. Config T. I'll create interface loopback 1 with an IP address of 172.16.10.1 exit, and I'll create a loopback on R2 as well. Here I already have route. I already have a default gateway. So from this source, if I try to ping firewall, let's see whether we can ping or not. Ping firewall with source as 172.16.20.1. I can't ping. Why I can't ping? The reason is from R1 you have a default gateway towards firewall, but if you go and check the routing table of firewall, he doesn't know anything about 172.16.10 or 16.20.
We have default route of the 10.1.1, sorry, 10.11.11.0.
Default gateway on R1 and R2, the default gateway is firewall, but firewall should know about these networks, right? See, this and this both are on the same network, so no route required, directly connected. Again, this and this are on the same network, directly connected, again no route required, but you need route for this network and on the firewall. If you go to firewall and check the routing table by saying show route, you would see it doesn't know anything about network 172.16. So that for that reason you need to add route. So for that I say route inside for network 172.16 10.0 255.255.255.0. For this, send packet to R1. Loopback 172.16 10.1 is behind R1. So send your packet to R1 10 11 11. And for 172.16.20 send your packet to, and at this moment if you try to ping, what is it, 10 11 11 2? Shit. It's not 10.2, it's 10.1. 10.1. You can ping 10.1 and you can ping 20. Okay. So this ping, which was not working before, now it will work. But
We added this network on
behind R1 and R2.
R1 and R2.
Okay. So now, do you think these networks can go to internet? Do you think these networks can go to internet? First thing, are these network on high? Yes. Are they trying to go to low? Yes. See here. You need to check whether the network 172.16.10 is it on high?
Yeah.
Yes. So rule 1. Okay. Are they trying to go from high to low? Yes. Isn't it? Then rule check second thing whether net control is on or off. Right now net control is so net control is on. So third thing you should check is what? For 172.16.10 network, is there any translation rule? Check on the firewall. Show running NAT. Is there any translation rule for network 172.16?
No.
No. So if you try to go out, if you say telnet 192.120.5 with source as connection refused. When do you get this message? Connection refused by remote host. When there is some policy problem on the firewall. When your policy is not correct on the firewall. And that's what it is. Why? Because there is no rule for 172. So what I can do is I can add a rule. Simple thing. Show run global. I already have a pool. Isn't it? Maximum I need to do is add a rule. I'll say NAT inside using pool 1. Which network? 172.16. Any host coming from 172.16 network. It can be 172.16.10. It can be 172.16.20 as well. Anyone coming on the inside interface, let him use pool 1, let him go out. So at this moment, if you try out this again, you would see you can go out. And if you check, again you have got one IP address from the pool. Similarly, you can go to R2. You can try to telnet.
The one thing, sir.
Huh?
One.
We don't have loopback 1 here. Loopback 2. And who are those 100, 112 and 100, How do you check on the firewall? Using show accelerate command. This will show you which IP is given to whom. And you see 100.11.2 is who? This is the loopback on R1. And who is .3? This is the loopback on R2. So multiple users can easily go out by taking one IP addresses. This is called dynamic NAT, dynamic NATing, 1-to-1. This is not 1-to-1. This is from the pool. First come, first serve.
Now, sir, once the just like a loop back one is used by.
Okay. By default, this mapping will remain for 3 hours. You can check it by saying timeout. By default, these translations changes will remain there in this table, will remain here for next 3 hours. But if you want to see, what you can do is you can clear this table by saying clear accelerate. Okay, I'll exit out from here. So show accelerate. No. Okay. Right now, no translation. Suppose there was a translation 3 hours before. Now the translations are clear. 3 hours are over. Now again they want to go out. Okay, at this time it's not necessary that 172.16.10.1 will get 100.114 only. It's not necessary. It can go, it can get any free IP address from the pool. So let's try and let's see which IP does it get. Check this time. This time it's different. Last time 10.1 has got .4. This time 10.1 has got .6.
It is not taking like which it is already used. Like once it was used, the IP address was used. It is not taking that IP address.
No, no. See, it will take clear metal.
If it is free, then it can take. Yeah.
Yeah. It gives it actually assigns in the order 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Once it reaches 10, it will again check the first IP whether one is free or not. If one is free, it will assign.
So that only I want to know.
So right now it's going in the order. It started assigning from 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. It will again assign 8 9 10, and then again it will see one is free, then it will start assigning from 1 2 3. That's all.
It means to buy one IP is enough for a company, and we will be doing patting.
Now, if you see, we have not touched our DMZ zones. Suppose from DMZ you want to go out, even DMZ are on high security level, right? 50. 50 is higher than 0. So even DMZ can go out. But in this case, no. Reason being, NAT control is on, NAT control is enabled, and you do not have any translation rule for DMZ. So what you can do is, you can define a rule for DMZ also. You can use the same pool or you can use a different pool. So let's say we are creating a different pool for DMZs alone. So in that case, I'll say global outside again pool number 2, and the ranges will be say 200.111 to or 200.151 to 200.11.55. Done. This is my new pool, and I'll add a rule that NAT anybody coming from DMZ1 using pool 2. When you want to say anybody, you can make use of 00. I'll show it for inside network. Right now, let it be this 192, 168. Huh? And for DMZ 2 also. Don't forget, you need to add this route. You need to add route for 200 network because there is no route. So what you'll do on R5, add route, IP route for network 200.110.255.255.0 should point to, and then go to DMZ, any of the DMZ, and say telnet.
We give only one.
You can go out, huh?
We give only one static route.
Yeah, for the network. We have given a static route for the network 200.110. So if you check here, you will see your IP will be from 200.110 network. Similarly, DMZ2, which is R4, if you try to go out, clear? Okay. One thing I wanted to show you is show running NAT. See, for inside, we have given multiple statements. Suppose you have different private networks 10, 11, 11, 10, 20, 20, 0, 172, 16. All the private networks are there. In that case, and you want everybody to get NATed. In that case, rather than using these two, what you can use is one simple command and it will have the same effect. I'll show you this. 1 minute, I'll just remove this. In that case, you can just say nat inside useful one. When you say 0, 0 indicates, so I'll say 0, and for mask again 0, which means any network, any mask can go out. So if you go to inside R1 and you try to go out, why is it refused? Why is it refused? Did I make some mistake? Yeah, fine. Fine. So it still has same effect. So you can use this command as well. Rather than giving multiple nat statement, nat this, nat that, all those things, you can use this single command and this will have same effect. Well, fine, all good. So next I'll show you dynamic patting. How to do patting? When do you do patting? You do patting when your IPs get exhausted. In real time situation, right now if you see your pool, show running global, that's the command to see the pool. You see your pool for inside network, it has just 10 IP addresses. But do you think in real time situation you will have only 10 hosts in the inside network? You will have hosts in hundreds, maybe in 500 thousands. That time these 10 IPs are too less, and you want to provide access to everyone, and your company is never going to buy 1000 IP addresses for sure. So what to do in that case? Use single IP and do pat, which in real normal terms people also call it NAT overload. Okay, so I'll show you how to do dynamic patting on firewall. You can do it two ways. I'll show you both the ways. Okay.